Hey, I'm Carl Azus for CNN Student News. It's good to see you this January 26th. First up, except for Canada and continental Chile, the dangerous Zika virus is expected to spread to every country in the Americas. That's according to the World Health Organization. And it's because the mosquito that transmits the virus is found throughout the Western Hemisphere. Zika was first discovered in Central Africa in the 1940s. 80% of people who catch it have no symptoms. Others might get a fever or rash for a few days. But Zika has been linked to an increase in babies born with microcephaly, which can cause abnormally small heads and severe delays in children's development. There's no treatment and no cure. So the U.S. Centers for Disease Control is urging pregnant women to avoid many countries in Central and South America and the Caribbean. There are also concerns about this year's Summer Olympics in Brazil, though officials say there will be fewer mosquitoes around when the games are played in August, a winter month in Brazil. The mayor of Washington, D.C. says it'll be days before snow is removed from some parts of the nation's capital. Some schools in Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York are still closed after a major weekend snowstorm. Across the Pacific, millions are dealing with similar weather, a cold shock spreading record low temperatures across East Asia.
Frost in a place known more for its flowers. Hong Kong saw record low temperatures over the last few days, accumulating ice, trapping hikers on one of the city's famous mountain trails. Dozens were treated for hypothermia in the coldest weather the city has experienced in decades, and Hong Kong wasn't alone. Across Asia, we've seen bitter winter weather, nowhere hit harder than in Taiwan. State media there reported at least 85 people, most of them elderly, died from hypothermia or cardiac conditions likely caused by the frigid air. It's an island where most of the homes don't have central heating. Its people simply not used to the cold. And the winter weather caused travel nightmares across the region. Take the South Korean island of Jeju. It's a popular destination for tourists, many of whom were forced to camp out in the airport over the weekend. Over 1,000 flights were canceled, affecting around 90,000 travelers. And in southern China, a similar story. Train tracks were shut down and highways were closed due to snowy conditions in the eastern and southern portions of the country, areas known more for good food and balmy weather than for snow. Hundreds of flights were canceled too on the first weekend of the incredibly busy Chinese New Year travel season. This weekend was a day of weather firsts for many in East Asia. Just ask these school kids gingerly stepping through snow on the Japanese island of Amami Oshuna. No one who lives on the island has ever seen it snow there before because it's the first time it's happened in 115 years. Matt Rivers, CNN, Beijing.
This roll call, like every roll call, is brought to you by yesterday's transcript page at cnnstudentnews.com. Rock Valley Middle School is in Iowa. It's the home of the Rockets, who totally rock it in Rock Valley. To the southeast, Pine View Middle School is in Florida. It's the home of the Panthers, the Big Cats of Land O'Lakes. And on the island of Taiwan, we're making a stop in Taipei today to say hello to the students of Grace Christian Academy. We're kicking off a two-part series today on the past and potential future of transportation, planes, trains, and automobiles. If you think that cars have come a long way since the Gilded Age and rockets have come a long way from the space age, you might be amazed at how little has changed and how much could change in the decades ahead.
We first got seriously moving with the help of steam power. In 1802, a British mining engineer, Richard Trevithick, built the first large-scale steam-powered locomotive. In 1879, a German engineer, Carl Benz, developed the first internal combustion engine, burning fuel like oil and petrol to power pistons. And so the car was born. Only 5 years later, in 1884, the first electric car whirred into life, thanks to a British inventor, Thomas Parker. His vehicle was battery-powered and was tested on the streets of London. Man famously first took flight in 1903 in North Carolina in America with the Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur, and their propeller plane, the Wright Flyer 1. The flight was just 12 seconds, barely 7 meters off the ground, but immutably historic. 1940 saw the invention of the jet engine by a British engineer, Frank Whittle. first used in fighter planes towards the end of the Second World War, and in commercial passenger liners from 1949 with the British de Havilland Comet. Fast forward 50 years or so, there's now a greater sense of urgency among scientists to find cheaper, more energy efficient, quicker ways of getting us around. Richard Varvel is an engineer. He's spent his entire career designing rocket and jet engines. Varvel and his colleagues are taking a unique approach, a hybrid rocket and jet engine, the Sabre.
The fundamental problem is that a state-of-the-art rocket engine, its performance in terms of its fuel consumption is too high. So the sort of central principle behind the engine that we're working on is to basically synthesize a rocket engine with an air-breathing engine like a jet engine. For this to be worthwhile, the air-breathing engine has to operate up to speeds maybe twice as high as a sort of conventional jet engine can reach. The sort of holy grail of space flight has been to get a machine that can fly into space and come back again and do it cheaply and safely and reliably. And in fact, there's been no real progress in terms of the way in which we get into space since the very start of the space age. So the actual technology we're working on is designed to solve that problem.
Although the Sabre is being designed to take us into orbit, it may usher in a new era of travel back on Earth, the hypersonic age. The Lapcat plane, as they call it, promises staggering speeds of more than 3,000 miles an hour, or put another way, flying from London to Sydney in 4 hours.
What we have to do now is build an actual running engine, and that we're planning to do by the end of the decade. And that will then hopefully destroy all the other naysayers that think that this can't be done.
So yesterday was a holiday, but we're not going to judge you if you didn't realize it was Bubble Wrap Appreciation Day. This happens every year on the last Monday in January. It's all about the plastic package cushioning that both protects whatever's being shipped and